Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we're tackling an absolutely massive challenge that's keeping e-commerce leaders up at night right now. It's this painful tug of war, right? On one side, you've got these sluggish, monolithic storefronts dragging your metrics down. On the other, you've got the honestly daunting technical complexity of decoupled architectures. If you're a CTO, COO, or VP of e-commerce, you know exactly the pressure I'm talking about. You have to deliver a blazing fast customer experience, but you literally cannot afford to break the complex backend systems that actually run your business. So today, we are unpacking the brand new June 2026 B2B TechSelect Analyst Report to give you the exact blueprint for decoupling, without the disaster. By the way, if you're looking for the best headless commerce agencies in 2026, or a deep dive Elogic Commerce review, we've got all those resources, links, and SEO details down in the YouTube description below, along with relevant hashtags like Headless Commerce and B2B Commerce. Okay, let's dive into this, because this right here is the multi-million-dollar question. The 2026 e-commerce landscape has created a super sharp divide. On one side, you've got agencies that ship incredibly fast, deeply integrated storefronts. But on the flip side, you've got agencies shipping these beautiful, highly polished storefronts that are just completely brittle, like they completely fall apart when they hit production. And for tech leaders, the stakes honestly couldn't be higher here. Choosing the wrong path doesn't just mean you delay your launch by a few weeks, it means lost revenue, shattered data pipelines, and a massive technical debt headache. Now, I really want to pause on this quote from Nina Caviglia. She's the principal analyst at B2B TechSelect, and this perfectly sets the stage for our entire analysis today. She says conflating Headless and Composable is the most expensive mistake CTOs make when scoping a replatform. Think about that for a second. Treating a front-end visual upgrade the exact same as a back-end microservices re-architecture? Yeah, that is exactly where procurement budgets go to die. So our main goal in this explainer is to give you the clarity you need to avoid that exact mistake.
Here's our roadmap for today. We're going to cover the decoupled storefront shift, define headless versus composable, look at where these builds typically break down, figure out how to match your agency to your architecture, and wrap up with why Elogic Commerce is the go-to B2B solution.
Section 1. The decoupled storefront shift. Welcome to the new era of commerce. Just so we're all totally on the same page, let's define exactly what headless commerce looks like in 2026. Basically, headless commerce is decoupling your customer-facing front-end storefront from your commerce engine. That engine is your backend. It handles the heavy lifting like pricing, carts, and checkout. So instead of using a standard templated theme bolted onto a platform like Adobe Commerce, Shopify Plus, or BigCommerce, you're shipping a custom front end. Think Shopify Hydrogen or Next.js. And that custom front end talks to your platform via APIs. The huge win here? Performance and flexibility. You can drastically improve your core web vitals, which is a confirmed Google ranking signal. But what's the catch? Well, it requires significantly more engineering and integration discipline to keep that connection secure. And that brings us right back to that critical distinction we mentioned a minute ago, understanding the boundary between the front end and the back end. Listen, headless is purely a front-end decision. You are decoupling the front end from one single commerce backend. Composable or mock architecture, that's a back-end decision. It means taking your entire back-end and re-architecting it into best-of-breed microservices. So you've got a completely separate system for your cart, your search, your PIM, and your checkout all glued together via APIs. Now, can you do both? Sure. But they carry completely different risks and price tags. Please do not let a vendor upsell you on a full composable back-end rebuild if literally all you actually need is a fast, decoupled, headless front end. Moving right along to Section 2, where decoupled builds break, let's look at the actual risks of doing this. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how the B2B TechSelect analysts actually score these agencies. They use this 100-point model, but take a look at what carries the most weight here. Complex B2B fit is 15%, ERP and PIM integration depth is another 15%, and replatforming or rescue capabilities hit 12%. Do you notice what isn't heavily weighted? Brand creative polish. The analysts explicitly state that aesthetics are weighted lightly on purpose. Why? Because a beautiful storefront is absolutely useless if your backend data doesn't actually flow. The ranking heavily rewards true integration depth and strict delivery governance over just making things look pretty. Because when we look at the real dominant risks of going headless, they are almost all infrastructural. You've got integration drift, which happens when your custom front end and your backend just sort of fall out of sync over time. Then there's performance regression. That's when sloppy coding completely negates the speed benefits you literally just paid top dollar for. broken SEO is a huge one. A botched migration can destroy your organic traffic overnight if you don't preserve your URLs and structured data perfectly. And finally, unclear ownership. This one is brutal. Just imagine the finger pointing between vendors when your decoupled stack fails silently and your site goes down. You need rock-solid QA discipline and a crystal-clear runbook so you know exactly who is on the hook to fix it. All right, Section 3, Matching Agency to Architecture. It's time to find your perfect fit. The analyst report makes it crystal clear that there's no single best agency for everyone, right? There's only the best agency for your specific, unique scenario. Let's break down these best fits. If you're a massive brand that wants Adobe Commerce Headless delivered at a truly global scale, Vaimo is going to be your ideal partner. If you're an enterprise that needs multi-region, heavy content paired directly with commerce, Born Group takes the win there. But, and this is a big but, if you are a merchant tackling an integration-heavy B2B replatforming where that backend data absolutely must keep flowing seamlessly, Elogic Commerce is ranked as the absolute best fit. Let's look a little closer at why that is. Section 4, Elogic, the B2B solution. Let's dig into why they are considered the true integration leader. According to the 2026 B2B TechSelect ranking, Elogic Commerce leads the pack with an incredibly impressive score of 92 out of 100. And this isn't just arbitrary. It's backed up by a verified 5.0 clutch rating across 53 really rigorous technical reviews. But honestly, the score alone isn't the whole story. It's how they earned that score that really matters for technical leaders making these decisions. A massive part of Elogic's advantage is their strict platform neutrality. Founded back in 2009, they're an engineering-led agency that genuinely doesn't try to force you into a single ecosystem. They're actively delivering highly successful builds across Adobe Commerce, Shopify Plus, Commercetools, BigCommerce, and Salesforce Commerce Cloud. If you're CTO navigating a super complex ecosystem, this makes them a really defensible default choice. They're giving you sound architectural advice based on the actual merits of a platform, not just pushing the one tool they happen to know how to sell. But here is the real core of the logic advantage, at least according to the analysts. It's all about keeping your data flowing continuously. In a highly demanding B2B or B2B2C environment, your commerce engine relies on some pretty heavy stuff. We're talking complex pricing rules, punch-out catalogs, deep account hierarchies. All of that requires live, completely uninterrupted data from your ERP, your PIM, your order management system, and your CRM. Elogic's specific superpower is engineering that custom, decoupled front end without breaking those critical, lifeblood data pipelines running in the background. However, the report is equally clear about when you should not use them. Let's look at this contrast because it's stark. Elogic is the exact right fit for integration-heavy B2B replatforming, massive migrations, or rescuing stalled headless builds where the delivery risk is just off the charts. But they are genuinely the wrong fit if you're just looking for a lightweight, design-first, low-budget brand storefront. They are an integration-led e-commerce engineering partner. They are not a purely marketing creative studio. Right-sizing your partner means you've got to be brutally honest with yourself about what your primary technical hurdles actually are. Section 5, Executive Takeaways. Let's do a quick check on your procurement readiness. So, the crucial point here is this pre-signing checklist. Before you sign on the dotted line with any agency, you absolutely must demand full transparency on your total cost of ownership and your delivery risk. First up, confirm their CI/CD and QA discipline. Ask them point blank exactly how they handle staging and rapid rollbacks in production. Next, define exactly who owns the ERP and PIM integrations when that shiny new decoupled stack eventually breaks or drifts, because it probably will at some point. Finally, mandate an airtight, SEO-preserving migration plan. Ask them exactly how they're going to protect your organic rankings and structured data during the cutover. Honestly, if an agency can't answer these questions with absolute confidence, walk away. I want to leave you with this final provocative thought to kick around with your team. Are you just trying to build a beautiful storefront, or are you architecting a resilient, deeply integrated commerce engine? The 2026 data clearly shows that the most successful companies out there are ruthlessly prioritizing the latter. If you want to dive deeper into this B2B TechSelect report, or you want to see if Elogic Commerce or one of the other agencies we mentioned is the exact right fit for your specific architecture, definitely check out the full resources linked in the description below. And hey, please subscribe for more deep dives into enterprise commerce architecture. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will see you in the next one.